Pope Francis is the Pope of mercy. He's the Pope of the poor. He's the Pope that visits inmates. He's the Pope that wants to be where there is pain. And this is exactly where we find him now. Let's just take a moment to take in this moment. This is part of the route where tens of thousands of people attempt to go to the United States. So Central Americans, Mexicans, they all make their way here to this area to cross the border into the United States. And yet we have Pope Francis today praying. We learned about this, that he, from the Vatican, that he was going to take a moment to pray for the immigrants who have perished. Now, we are just feet away from where all of this is happening. I want to show you with our cameras. Pope Francis is getting back on the Pope Mobile and will be heading back to celebrate Mass. But again, as we take in this moment, this is the culmination of Pope Francis' trip. The border is very near and dear to his heart, is what we learned from the Vatican. And so this is a very emotional moment for the Pope. And to talk about the message that he has delivered in Mexico while he's been here for about 5 days, it's been about fighting corruption, fighting violence, fighting the drug cartels. And he said something very important to the youth. He said, we need a Mexico where the youth, where people can dream and they don't have to cross the border to achieve those dreams. Now, I want to show you, because we are just feet from this border, you can see that there are people witnessing this, absorbing this. I'm sure it's very emotional for them as well. From what we understand, some of them are migrants, some of them are victims of violence. They called them Francis VIPs because they are going to be celebrating Mass across the border. Now, even though Pope Francis is on Mexican soil, this is a Mass that will be celebrated in both countries, both in Mexico and the United States, because not only are the people that are across the border able to listen and able to see the altar where Pope Francis will be celebrating Mass, there are people that are watching it, whether it be on the internet, 50,000 at Sun Bowl Stadium. So I'm going to wait and see what the Pope's message is about unity, about this border, about immigration. But if what we've heard so far is any indication about the powerful words that he will deliver during his homily, he has said that to his bishops, you need to work with the bishops in the United States to make sure that immigrants are treated fairly and that immigrants don't have to cross the border in order for them to achieve, in order for them to dream. Now, we're also very close to the altar and to a lot of these faithfuls that have come from all over, both the United States and also in areas of Mexico. We've learned that, the border was making arrangements to make sure that they could help all the people that were hoping to cross the border from the United States to Mexico to witness this Mass, to celebrate this Mass. We also learned from Customs and Border Protection that they were going to have extra feet on the ground to make sure that security was well taken care of. They were going to have air surveillance as well to make sure that everything went well. But at the end of the day, guys, I think probably the most powerful moment of Pope Francis' visit we just witnessed, and that was him praying, having a moment of silence in a place where so many have perished, where so many have died, in his words, trying to reach a dream, trying to achieve a dream across the border. His message, he wants Mexico to be that country where you don't have to cross a border in order for you to achieve your dreams.
And well put, Rosa. And it is extraordinary to be, the message straddling the border in the literal sense. One thing that's interesting too, the government in Mexico hasn't always had warm relationships with the church or the pontiff, but on this occasion welcomed and seen president and a very different sort of landscape there politically as well.
Pope Francis spoke before the president of this country, Enrique Peña Nieto, and he said, we need a country that's for the masses, not for the few. Because when in politics you create an environment for the few, it breeds corruption, it breeds violence, it breeds organized crime. And so he was sending very direct messages, Michael, in this country. When he was speaking to the bishops, he said, you need to take care of your priests who are working in these dangerous situations, in these dangerous communities, because they're tempted as well. They're human. And so they're tempted because they're in this dangerous community that has roots and nets that are wide and encompassing that could tempt even the people who serve the church. And so, again, his message has been fight so that Mexico can have a chance, so that the people of Mexico can have a chance.